Hello, this is Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to get in one more video this morning, and this is going to be part 4 of my account of what actually happened on May 8th, 2018 during the now notorious living or napping while black incident at Yale. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I had received a phone call, and it was the Yale campus police. They told me that they were on the ground floor, but that they couldn't operate the elevator because they didn't have a key. I was surprised to hear this, so I went down to go get the Yale campus police officers in the elevator. While we were riding back up in the elevator, I said to them, "Oh, you guys should really have a key to the elevator so that you can get up in the elevator if you need to." And the Yale police officers concurred with me. I also told the officers that the woman had left the 12th floor, but that I did not know where she went. The elevator stopped at the 5th floor. I was surprised that the elevator had stopped because it was approximately 2 a.m. or thereabouts. When the elevator stopped, I could see that the woman whom I had encountered in the 12th floor common room was standing outside the elevator. It had been unfortunate timing, and she had apparently called the elevator, probably to try to return to the 12th floor from the 5th floor where presumably she lives. That was one point that I wanted to make. Constantly in the press and during their television appearances, I was referred to as her neighbor. I can only assume that my attackers wished to propagate this false narrative. I was no one's neighbor. I lived in probably the most isolated dorm room in the Hall of Graduate Studies. I lived at the top of a tower where my dorm room was the only dorm room on that floor. Moreover, I rarely left my room, and I socialized with no one. I was suffering from mental health disabilities, including post-traumatic stress disorder, and the only thing I wanted was to be left alone and in peace to work on my dissertation. So, when I saw the woman on the 5th floor, when the elevator stopped, I told the officers, "That's her. That's the woman whom I encountered in the 12th floor common room." When the officers opened the elevator door, the woman immediately held her phone up to us again. The officers seemed confused, and they asked her what she was doing. I can't remember exactly what the woman said, but she said something like, "I have a right," or "I have a right to take pictures." I don't remember her saying that she had a right to take video or record or film. And I remember that I replied, "No, you do not have a right to take pictures of me." It was at this point that the female officer motioned for me to turn around so that the woman would not be able to take pictures of me if I did not want her to. I was later shocked to discover that the woman had filmed and recorded this moment as well, and that she had also widely distributed this video online, even though I am clearly objecting in the video to having my picture taken. I was not aware that I was being filmed or recorded. Also at this point, the woman said that I was crazy or psychotic. I can't remember exactly what she said, and she said that I needed to be in a mental institution. I can't remember if this is the point in the video where she also says that Yale knows that I'm crazy or not. I was shocked to hear this woman, a complete and utter stranger to me, someone whom I had never seen before, speak about my mental health history as if she knew exactly who I was and knew me well and had interacted with me before and had had discussions about me with the Yale administration. It would become abundantly clear to me before the night was over that this woman knew exactly who I was and had targeted me, including in part because of my mental health disabilities, and that she had been made privy to my identity and my mental health history by the Yale administration. I was completely in the dark at this point. I had absolutely no idea who this woman was at this point. I only suspected, strongly, that she had been terrorizing me in my home that evening, and probably, due to the statements she had made to me in the 12th floor common room, had been terrorizing me in my isolated dorm room for months. So the male officer stepped out of the elevator at that point to speak with the woman, and the female officer continued with me back up to the 12th floor. While we were still in the elevator, the female officer asked me for my student ID, which I gave to her, and she checked to make sure that I was who I said I was and that I had authorization to be there. We got out of the elevator and we went into the 12th floor common room so that I could explain to the female officer what had occurred and what had prompted me to call the non-emergency helpline of the Yale campus police. The last point that I'll make in this part is that I was shocked when we, the female officer and I, moved into the interior room of the 12th floor common room where the woman had been sleeping. She had completely rearranged the room. Instead of the closed laptop sitting on the desk next to a couple of books and other items, which is where these items were when I had discovered the entirely obscured sleeping human form in the common room, the woman had now moved these items to the coffee table. The laptop was open and turned on, and the books were open on the coffee table. The woman clearly wanted to make it look like she had been hard at work studying and then had simply lied back to take a quick nap. It became clear to me that this had been a deliberate attempt to provoke an incident and to stage a trap. I had already perceived this, but it became even more apparent as events unfolded. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop there for part 4. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.